let me know
Sure.
if
Please.
there's a charge.
That's unreal.
Okay. Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
On Zoom, who's joining us on Zoom. Okay, and those who are joining us live, hello, Stu. There you go. Grab one of these. Okay, so while people are filing their way in, let's just set the table of what we're going to do today and the seder of our learning for the weeks to come. We are beginning with Reish Samach Beis today in Hilchot Shabbat. In this class, when it was on a different day, we did a lot of the simonim that dealt with the getting ready for Shabbos, and so we're almost at Shabbos. It's in chronological order for how one topically chronological for how we would approach Shabbos. So now we're up to the point where we're going to literally be setting the table and getting our house in the final stages ready for Shabbos. And we're going to talk about even what we wear as we welcome in the Shabbos. That is the goal for today and for probably next week. And then after that, we'll talk about Mi V'mi Hamadlikim, which is a borrowed phrase from the Exodus story when Paro says to the Jewish people, Mi V'mi HaHolchim, who are the people who are going to serve your God in the desert for 3 days. The header of that siman is Mi V'mi Hamadlikin, who are the ones who should be lighting the candles for Shabbat. So that'll be next week. And then also we'll talk about B'im Tov B'yom HaMe'unan, if it's a cloudy day and you make a mistake in candle lighting, which is not such a relevant topic in the sense that today we have clocks, but what do you do if you take in Shabbos a little bit too early? So welcome to all those who are filing in. Just introducing what we're going to be doing here. If you need a sheet, so you see in front of the Shulchan Aruch, Ramah and Mishnah Berurah. Okay, so we're going to begin with Reish Samach Beis. Reish Samach Beis, right at the beginning of the siman. Here we go. Okay, well, let's see if people walk in, and you'll give them food. Thank you. Okay, Yisader Sif Aleph. Yisader Shulchano v'Yatzia Hamitos v'Yisakein Kol Inyane Habayis Kedei Sheyimtzoenu Aruch u'Mesudar Bevo'o MiBeis HaKnesses. Shulchan Aruch, Yosef Karo writes here that you should arrange your table, Yisader Shulchano, and you should Yatzia Hamitos. You should prepare the mattresses. Now we'll talk about in a moment what mattresses are we talking about here. That may be relevant in this discussion. There's a spot here. Wow. Yes.
Are responsible in the middle of
got it. Yeah, like we did now.
What?
Like we did now. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Perfect. No problem. All right. Take care, Ralph. So you're preparing the mattresses. Now, this is going to be also not just your own personal bed, but they didn't sit in dining room chairs like we do. It's clear from the Gemara that they sat on mattress-like type things in terms of for their kitchen table, for their dining room table. They used to also have personal TV dinner trays. They didn't have a big table. It's very clear if you learn Arvei Pesachim.
Like Cleopatra.
Like what?
Like Cleopatra.
Like Cleopatra, right? That's right. Correct. So they had a different kind of way of sitting around the table. So and v'yisaken, right over here, v'yisaken kol inyane habayis. You should be ready on Shabbos, ready for Shabbos. Whatever your house needs. By the way, you'll love what the Mishnah Berurah is going to say on this one. We'll get there in a few moments. And why? Your house should look like Shulchan Aruch. It's like set, and it should look orderly, right? It should look ready. Your house should look like a Shabbos house. Okay, so when you come home, particularly when you come back from shul on Friday night, walk into your house on Friday night after the davening. It should look a certain way. Now, why is this the case? Take a look at the Mishnah Berurah down below. Sifkat Aleph in the Mishnah Berurah. Shulchano. Okay, he says, Mi Erev Shabbos Lelele Shabbos. Okay, so when are you doing this first of all? When are you preparing your table? You getting it ready on Wednesday? No, you do Mi Erev Shabbos Lelele Shabbos. At some point on the Friday afternoon, you're going to get it from Erev Shabbos, so it's ready for Leil Shabbos. Okay, it shouldn't be. Doesn't have to be ready from a Tuesday. That's ridiculous. But on Erev Shabbos, and that, by the way, Dafka Erev Shabbos. Why? Because it's a kiyum. It's a kiyum in Kavod Shabbos. All the preparations that go into Shabbos is a kiyum in a mitzvah derabbanon of Kavod Shabbos. Okay, Gemara talks about Kavod Shabbos as really the preparations, things that go into making your house ready for Shabbos. Sif Katan Beis, Hamitos. What is this talking about? Sheyoshvin Alehem. These are the couches, the cushions that we sit on, or they would sit on in a certain day and age to eat their meal. This again is not. By the way, and I have the Tirshu edition of the Mishnah Berurah. He writes on here on the side. For Tommy, it's number 2. Our chairs today. Kosav Aruch HaShulchan writes, meaning our seats are ready for, we sit. It's not like to repair the mattress and make it comfy and the pillows and the cushions. Okay, so this part is not as relevant to our situation. But back in the Mishnah Berurah, V'tov shetiyeh mutzas gam hamita sheyoshen aleh. But you know what? Shabbos. Your bed should look, it's not a bad idea also that your bed that you sleep in should also look nice, should be ready for Shabbos. It should be, we have someone, come clean once a week, and when they come, they make the bed. It's all nice and whatever. There's nothing nice about getting into bed when it was freshly made, the sheets were changed, and it's, there's something nice about that. And Shabbos is the highlight day of the week, and we should, whatever we do the best for our house, we should try to aim that happens for Shabbos. Okay. Sif Katan Gimel. All right. Why does it need to be Aruch U'Mesudar Bevo Bebeis HaKnesses? When you're coming home, why is it important that that's when things are ready and good to go? You want to, Jonah just came in. Want to give him one of these sheets? Okay. We're on Sif Katan Gimel, John. Shizeu Kavod Shabbos. Because that's a fulfillment in honoring Shabbos. The mitzvah, guys. It's a mitzvah of Kavod Shabbos. V'omru Chochmeinu Zal. Our sages teach us. There's a teaching. You maybe have heard this one before. Shnei malachai asharis melavin lo la'odam erev Shabbos mibeis haKnesses lebeis. There is a medrash. There's a teaching that 2 malachai asharis, 2 of the ministering angels, escort a person on erev Shabbos from the Beis HaKnesses to your house after davening's over on Friday night.
So Rav,
yeah.
There's no specific prohibition about performing the tasks on Shabbos for Shabbos.
There's no specific prohibition of performing these tasks on Shabbos for Shabbos. Correct. There's no problem in fluffing your pillow or you want to set the table on Shabbos because it wasn't set. Of course you can do it, but there's a mitzvah. That's why it's a point. That's why it's in Shulchan Aruch. There's a mitzvah of kavod Shabbos, a positive mitzvah saseh of honoring Shabbos if your house is ready for Shabbos. And in each aspect, you do that. You can fulfill that from the table to the mattresses and you'll see in a moment there are some kind of lighter examples, but also important. You'll see in a moment the Mishnah Berurah is going to mention. And so this is, that's why it's here, Simeon. Exactly, because it's a mitzvah and kavod Shabbos. Okay. So you have these 2 malachei ashares. One echad tov v'echad ra. One is good, one's bad. So when a person goes to comes into their house and there's a candle that's lit, v'shulchan aruch on the table set, umita mutza'as, and the mattresses are ready and fluffed. Malach tov omer, the angel that's representing the good, will say, Yehi ratzon shehechein l'Shabbos haba. So should it be for the I think here it means the week ahead, right? Wow, what an amazing house, beautiful. It's like a bracha for the coming week that the malach hasharis give us. That the malach, one malach gives us. Umalach ra one amen bal korch, and the other malach who didn't want to say anything nice because a bracha has been said now is forced to say amen. V'im lav, but if it's the opposite, hu lehefech, then the malach hara jumps in, goes the house should be erect the whole week, and chas v'shalom, right? Then the malach hatov has to say amen. Tov lefanos. Now, here's the lighter example. What should you do before Shabbos also? Tov lefanos kurei akavish. Anyone know what that means? That's right. You got to get rid of the spider webs. Clear out the sky. That spider web that's been bothering you all week. It's time to take a duster and move it away. right? Get it over the fanos me'abayis, John, before Shabbos comes in. Linakos es habayis. You're supposed to clean the house in general, sweep, mop, whatever you need to make it look nice. Why? Lichvod Shabbos. For the honor of Shabbos. Okay, yes, Lord.
So the notion of covered Shabbos.
Yeah.
Has an aesthetics piece.
Certainly.
And also has an efficiency piece.
Yes, you come in, it's Shabbos, I don't have to wait. I shouldn't be, the less I am sort of slaving away and setting the table and doing this on Shabbos, yes, it seems that that's an honor of Shabbos, because the less I do that's
preparatory.
Then it's the ultimate statement that this day I was preparing for it. It's meaningful to me, and I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. Okay. Let's finish up this Mishnah Berurah. But tovli zoher beseudas laila shelo lizrok davar babayis chutz lashulchan. I was scratching my head when I was preparing this one, but I got it. I think so. It's good to be cautious in the Friday night meal, the seudas laila. Shelo lizrok davar. So you shouldn't throw anything in the house off the table. Like, why am I throwing things around the house? What's going on here? Let's keep going. Im ein darko lechaber es habayis b'davar hamutar. Unless I normally sweep on Friday night after the meal with something that's permitted. Ayin Siman Shin Lamed Zayin, when we get there in a few years, we'll talk about that in Shin Lamed Zayin, where it's the kind of broom that you can use. Our brooms today are usable. If the broom was more brittle, where there's a fear that the bristles will break, a legitimate fear the bristles will break, then that's something you have to think more cautiously about using that. But the brooms like that I buy, those things you can bend those. Those are not coming off. You think about some of those, there's some of those like straw, so that you have to be more careful using. But if you're using the ones that I don't even know what they're made out of, they're bendable and whatever. That's a davar hamut. Okay. So if you ain darko lechaber sabayis b'davar mutar achar sudazo kedei shelo yinovel sabayis, so you don't make the house look like a menuvel, like disgusting. So if you normally sweep up and you sweep the crumbs off the table down to the floor so that you could take your broom and sweep it, that's okay. But why wouldn't they want to do that? Because you're going to see that there's the way you clean the house, the way they describe how you clean the table is you pick up the tablecloth. You take it outside and you shake it out, and then you put it back down for the next meal. So if you're not accustomed to sweeping the floor all the time, which, by the way, would have been a lot harder for them. We have hard floors, whether it's wood or it's stone, or I guess some people only have carpet, which is going to be complicating this. But what were the floors made out of Bisman Chazal? They were dirt. Yeah, it was dirt floor. So you put things on the ground. You put you throw the crumbs on the ground or whatever. It's a lot harder to kind of get rid of it, and your house doesn't look as neat as it could.
I think they were stones set in dirt.
There were stones, set in dirt.
Set in dirt.
But the floor was actually stone.
And the problem with sweeping was the dirt between the stones was a way of bone. It was a question of bone.
Oh, did they make a ditch also?
Or taking away the dirt that was setting stone, kind of question of. I think the rabbis had to continue on that because the women were so upset that they sweep floors.
Right.
But so I think that was the issue. But it's not that they really had dirt floors; they had dirt in between the stones. Got
it. So those of you who maybe couldn't hear, so Richie was saying that they had dirt floor, but it was dirt, stones set on dirt. There was dirt between the stones. Right. If I'm understanding correctly. Okay. Yeah. Bottom line is they're still going to get caught. All the crumbs are going to get caught in between. It makes it even more complicated. In fact. Okay. Same thing with your Shabbos morning meal. Same thing. You shouldn't be sweeping the crumbs onto the floor. Say, oh, well, now my table's clean. That's just moving the mess from one place to the other. That's not accomplishing anything. Okay, let's look in the Ramah up above, back in Sif Aleph.
So you're doing cleaning on Shabbos for Shabbos.
Yes, excellent point, Simeon. You're not really supposed to clean on Shabbos for after Shabbos. You can now, but I want to point the following out. Well, what about the last meal that you eat on Shabbos? Should I just leave it there until the after Shabbos is over? And the answer is, my opinion, and I remember actually hearing Rav Shai Shechter once talking about this and quoting his father. If I'm not mistaken, I believe quoted his father on this. But how do I know that I can clean up Shalosh Shudas?
I would say
Right.
minimal.
So Simeon's saying minimal, less over here saying
No,
like.
I'm telling you that if it bothers you and destroys the spirit of Shabbos to have your kids' crumbs on the floor or whatever, you
Good,
clean
exactly. Which is what Les was saying over here as well, Henda, right? Which is the idea that if it's bothering you, your table looks like like you have like
Like a
three
pigsty.
plates over here, a spill over there. Your house should look like it's Shabbos. So sometimes that means, by the way, that you need to clean up the lunch and sometimes Shalosh Shudas because it's supposed to look a certain way.
In the
Now-
old days, there were flies. There were the flies.
Right? Your house ended up with the insects and whatever. Yeah, it's important to clean up, even if there's not another meal to come in the house. Okay, so let's go to the Ramah here up on top in Sif Aleph. He says, "V'yiyeh shulchano oruch kol yom haShabbos." This goes to the point everyone was just talking about. Your table should be set the entire Shabbos, right? It should be orderly. It should be aruch. Maybe you don't have another meal coming up, but it should look. The table is like Dom el Mizbech. It should look nice, right? V'chein haminag, and the Rama says that is the minag everyone has today. Ve'ein l'shanos, and he says we shouldn't deviate from the minag. That our table should look spick and span and should look as a centerpiece of our Shabbos home. Take a look at Sifkat on Daled down below in the Mishnah Berurah. He says, "Kol v'chulei." This idea that all of the Shabbos the table should look nice. Ad la'achar Havdalah, until after we make Havdalah on Motzei Shabbos. And he says, "Yesh noagin lios shtei mapos al hashulchan milvad ha'elyona she'al halechem mishum kisheminar hamapa nimtza shulchan megule." This is fascinating. So this is not a halacha. The minhag. There is a minhag. He seems to be reporting exists, and if anybody does this here, by the way, to have two tablecloths on Shabbos, and when you take the top one off to shake off the crumbs, right? Kishminar and hamapa, you shake off the first one, you go out to your front doorstep, and you shake off the breadcrumbs or whatever. The table is not uncovered. You still have another tablecloth underneath, so that the table, to fulfill this statement of the Ramah, that the v'yeshulchano aruch kol yom haShabbos, so that even in the moment when I'm taking the tablecloth off to be menayer, to shake it, there's another one underneath. Again, it's a minhag. If you're not makbid for it, it's okay. But it shows how much you want to honor Shabbos, I guess, in some ways, that this minhag does exist. It's a cute minhag.
That's because the Chafetz Chaim didn't know from a plastic tablecloth.
That's
no
true.
plastic, no plastic.
There was no plastic. That's right. Today you just take the plastic part off, you put in the garbage. Yeah. Okay. Sif Beis up on top. Yishtadel, the Mechaber writes, Yishtadel li sheyulo bigodim noim l'Shabbos. By the way, for those of you who are joining the first time, it's a little bit lighter topic today. Don't worry. Next week, we're going to get into some more meat and potatoes again. But Yishtadel sheyulo bigodim noim l'Shabbos. You should put an effort that your clothing should be beautiful for Shabbos. Wear nice clothing for Shabbos. V'im ef sharlo, but let's say it's impossible. The person doesn't have certain kinds of clothing, they can't afford it. They, whatever it is. So lefachos, at the very least, yishal shel perish. What is yishal shel? Yishal shalem klape mata shiu arukim kemidas ashirim hayoshvim bevesam. I believe what this means here, and maybe Steve, you'll, if you in your edition, you have a little extra perish here. What they're saying is that whatever clothing you wear, like the longer it is, think about like a more dignified robe almost, right? That sort of klape mata that is reaching down. Yishal shalem is like to almost like to let loose, like almost like a chain. So it should go longer. So that's arukim. It's a longer garb. Am I getting this right here? Yeah. Kemidas hashir. I guess it was a sign of wealth if you had a fancier, longer robe that people hayoshim bevesam when they were sitting in their house. Again, today I don't know that that's a sign of wealth in where we live. That may be in some the Hasidim, they wear it longer on Shabbos.
Yeah, they go those long satin
In the house.
In the house. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Like a lounging.
It's like it's a bekasha that's for Shabbos, basically. It's a Shabbos robe, right? So okay, this
usually satin or something.
it's an extra nice material. Okay, got it. There you go. So we get the idea being here. Whatever it is that we have in our closets, we should wear the nicest. Shabbos is the day when you pull out the nicest shirt, the nicest suit. Even if you wear a suit during the week. What was that? And when you come to shul, yeah, wear a suit jacket. Wear a suit. Anyways, again, the whole point here is it's showing kavod. Whatever it is in our milieu that is the fanciest, is the nicest, it should be coming out of the closet for Shabbos. So take a look at Sif Koton Hey, Yishtadel v'chule. It's an interesting word, Yishtadel. I have to, work hard at this, try my best. Why? Dechsiv v'chibadito. In Sefer Yeshayahu, chapter 58, it talks about the idea of Oneg Shabbos, and you're supposed to honor it. V'darshu Chazal, how do you honor Shabbos? This is Gemara. It's quoting a Gemara here. Shelo yehem al bushecha shel Shabbos kim al bushecha shel chol. The clothing of Shabbos shouldn't be the clothing of the weekdays, right? Your clothing on the weekdays should not be like on Shabbos. V'tov shelo yilbash b'Shabbos ma shelavash b'chol afilu chaluk. Even your robe, whatever you wear during the weekdays, shouldn't be what you wear on Shabbos. Even if, let's say, you have a sort of a lighter in-house dress, for Shabbos, it should be something more distinguished than what you wear during the weekdays. I actually upgraded in this realm a couple of years ago. I got myself actually, it was a gift from my in-laws. Thank you to my in-laws if they're watching. They got me a talis on Shabbos. I even got the tcheles, which was really nice, and I hope to actually have time to tie a tcheles on my regular talis on the weekdays. But yeah, you're supposed to get a nice talis for Shabbos. Why? You know why? By the way, it's very clear to me because I have now this situation. Because the one on Shabbos looks whiter than the one on the weekdays. That's the reality. I only use it once a week versus the other 6 days, and it gets all whatever. So yeah, okay. Sif Koton Vav Noim. You're supposed to wear nice clothing. Again, taking into account what you can afford. Right? According to what your means, what you can do. Even if a person, let's say, is on the road for Shabbos, or they end up in a non-Jew's house for Shabbos, or they're staying in some sort of inn. Gam kein yilbash bigdei Shabbos. You know what? You're by yourself for Shabbos. You're gonna daven by yourself the whole time. You're gonna eat by yourself. Put on something nicer. Put on something nicer. It's not for the people who see. The clothing is for the Shabbos. Not for the people around you. It's for the Shabbos. It's to distinguish it for yourself, to distinguish that this day is different. Kasav B'Sefer Chasidim writes, Al yikach adam yeled b'Shabbos ad sheyasim tchila kar b'chayko. Kedei shelo yitanef b'gada. What you shouldn't take a child out on Shabbos until you place first a pillow in their lap, sort of. Why? So they don't get their clothing
messed up,
dirty. Yeah, all dirty for Shabbos. I'm not sure what the fear is here that they're going to eat and it's going to fall on them, or
I think he's talking about a child that's not toilet trained or something, a baby.
You think that's what it is? Is that what you have here? Yeah. Oh, interesting. Okay. Got it. So meaning something that catches the mess that makes.
Put it on their own shoulders.
Because it's Yitanef. Excellent point, because a tinuf is always related to like soiling yourself. Got it. So it may be that it's for the person themselves, that you want to protect your own clothing when the kid fishes, on the whatever, and it doesn't have to leak through to you. So you got to make sure. Okay, good. Today with diapers, this is really it does happen, by the way. Sorry, you all know this from your experiences, but sometimes it leaks through. But that's a failure on the diaper, not on not on you. Okay. Sif Koton Zayin Hayoshim Bevesam, that you're supposed to wear these nicer robes in your house. bishvil malacha. So they don't need to remove their clothing from the ground for the purposes of bishvil malacha, for malacha. So I guess these are these robes that they're taught that were that are kamidas ashirim that when they sit around the house. They don't want to. So here you're removing your clothing. I guess that they don't want it to be, too long, right? So I'm strichim the salek be day and minars. They don't have to like pull it up like this, because if it's so long, you have to like kind of hold it up like this, right? And you don't want to end up doing malacha. What malacha could you do if your robe is sweeping on the ground? It could be. I wonder if here it's a reference to chofer guma, right? You're making a furrow. If your bekish is dragging along on the ground. So, anyways, and that's why it's for when they're sitting. Sometimes, by the way, you see fold if they see someone wearing a bekish or a robe, they'll fold it back, when they're sitting. Bottom line is here, you got to make sure that it's dignified, it doesn't cause any problems where it's dragging on the ground, etc. Okay, let's look at Sif Gimel. Again, it's a lighter topic today, which is good. It's good to see the positives of Shabbos that we can take a little extra time on our Friday to do. Sif Gimel up on top. Shulchan Aruch writes, Yilbash begadav hanoi v'yismach v'yas Shabbos ki yotze likras hamelach yucha yotze likras chasan v'chala. So you should wear nice clothing, which is really a repetition from what we said before. But here, in addition to wearing nice clothing, now what are you going to do? You're getting excited. You're rejoicing over the coming of Shabbos. The way that you would go to greet a king, or you would go to greet a chasan and kala. When you go, if you ever go, you go to the badekin and you go say before the badekin and the kabbalah spawn, you go up to the kala and what are you going to be? Mazel tov. It's very nice. I'm so excited. No, mazel tov. You go to the chasan's tish. Mazel, you get the chasan a big hug. That's how Shabbos should be when it comes in. It should be that kind of excitement, like you're going to a wedding or you're going to greet a king. The Rabbi Chanina used to adorn himself. He would adorn himself in a talis. He would go out. He would go out on Erev Malei Shabbat, means Erev Shabbos, and he would go outside. But Amar, and he would say, "Bo v'neitze likra Shabbos malkasa." He would say, "Go, come." He would say, get everybody riled up. Come, we're going to greet the Shabbos queen. We're going. Come on, let's go, guys. And the Gemara relates the story of Rabbi Yanai Omer. He's been on Erev Shabbos, or Erev Shabbos was coming in. Would say he would say Boi Kala, which is adopted into our liturgy when at the end of Kabbalah at the end of Lechadodi, that we welcome in Shabbos. And by the way, that's the point. Usually right after that, we do greet the Shabbos with Mizmor Shel Yom Shabbos. We accept Shabbos. So there are different stories in the Gemara about things that rabbis did to actually literally greet the Shabbos. They would go out and they would talk about going out to the field again and do this. The
Sparta literature.
Yeah, in Sparta.
Nusach Sparta.
Yeah.
They actually insert the Shabbos Malch
Shabbos Malchus. Yeah. At the end.
at the end.
Correct. If you ever listen very carefully, sorry to give away your secrets, Rabbi Morgenstern. If you ever listen to Rabbi Morgenstern at the end of Lechadodi, he grew up with Nusach Sfard because he's has a Hasidic background, I assume, and he'll say that actually. If he will not, he'll say something Shabbos Malchus. You ever hear him say it? Yeah, and they'll get them. Shabbos Malchus. Correct. Boikala, Shabbos Malchus. Okay, good. Take a look quickly at the Mishnah Berurah, and then we'll let you go. Sif Katan Ches. Yilbash v'chule. He says here, V'yelech bahem ad motzoi Shabbos achar dal. When are you supposed to wear this, all this nicer clothing, etc.? You wear them until Shabbos is over, after you make Havdalah. Not just after Shabbos is over, but until you make Havdalah. Okay? The last mitzvah relates to Shabbos, even though Shabbos is over. Tes, v'yismach levias Shabbos. B'chol hamar belechavdo. Anything more that you can do to honor the Shabbos. Hein begufo, hein begada, whether it's with your body to do some action, or with the clothing you wear. Hein ba'achila ushtia, whether it's eating or drinking. Harei zeh meshubach. I like to quote from the Pesach Seder. The more different Torah you say, Harei zeh meshubach, it's praiseworthy. That was the first simon we learned in Hilchot Shabbat, which talks about, the laundry on Thursday, the other things that you do to get ready for Shabbos. And he says here, Bazohar umukubalim. Okay, so now we're talking a little Kabbalah here. The Zohar and other Mikubalim, he's here. Shouldn't have any fights on Shabbos. No machlokas on Shabbos. By the way, with all that's going on, by the way, Alavai, just on Shabbos, we have no machlokas. We should extend it to the rest of the week too. Chas v'shalom. Ubefrat bein ish leishta, but certainly between husband and wife, there should be an attempt to try to, ensure that there's always peace in the home on Shabbos. And it's proven also in Gittin. Gabi Hanhu Bey Trey. There was a house where there were two people. The Habu Minsu Bahade Hadadi, where they were fighting, and it didn't end well. And Ayin Sham for the story, by the way, Nun Beis, you're getting close to some of the Gemaras that are really kind of sad over there in Gittin.
You know what happens here, Rav? Rashi makes a suggestion that every man learn 2 words for Shabbos. They are yes, dear.
Yes, dear. There you go. Yes, dear. It's a good idea to make sure we're getting along, and to, it's an important day, not just from the way we prepare for it with our clothing, but that the atmosphere should be fitting for that as well. Let's take a look at Sivkot and Yud, and then we'll be done. We'll do the Yud off next time. The Omrim, some shuls, they have this minhag, he says, where they would actually go out of the shul, out of the Azara, meaning like outside of the main shul. And they would go into the hall. They go out of the shul until you get into the Azara, like the hallway. The Omrim Bo Venetze, Bo Venetze Likras Shabbos Malkasa. Come, let's go and greet the Shabbos Malkasa, the queen. They'd actually go out of the shul for a moment. Our minhag is, he says, Shemahapchen Pnein Litzad Ma'arav. We turn our head to the back, to the west, and we say Kish Omrim Bo B'Shalom. The last paragraph, we turn to the west, to the back of the shul. And we say this paragraph, V'noagim lamod az, when we stand up at that point, V'la, so it's dugma, kamosh mekabel, pnei adam gadol. Why do we stand up for that last paragraph? Because I'm accepting, the queen is coming. Of course you're going to stand for royalty.
Royalty, right.
Exactly. So, Na'agu shelo lekabel as Shabbos v'yom ha'kippurim k'shechal b'Shabbos. There is a minute ago that we do not do this on Shabbos, on Yom Kippur, when it's Shabbos, when it's Yom Kippur. Rak Shomer Mizmor Shili Yom HaShabbos. We just say Mizmor Shili Yom HaShabbos. Call them Baruch Hu. We just sort of verbally acknowledge Shabbos has entered before Baruch Hu. Va'afilu Hanogi B'Shar Yom Tov, which is our practice here. But even on other Yom Tovs, we don't do the full Kabbalah Shabbos. And we just start with Mizmor Shir, Kishachal B'Shabbos. Lomar Od Eza Mizmor B'Shvil Shabbos. And even for those who do have the practice on other Yom Tovim, to say other Mizmor, and by the way, Nusach Sfar, they have a little longer Kabbalah Shabbos than Nusach Ashkenaz, not the full thing. Even for them, the idea is that we don't do this practice of going outside, turning around, and making a whole big idea of the Shabbos queen coming. When, come on, the Yom Tov's there too. It's not appropriate to do that. All right, we'll stop here. We'll finish up next time on the simon, and we'll go on to the next simon about Miyah V'Miyah Amad Likim. Shkoyach, everyone. Thank you.
Rav,
Thank you very much.
Hang on. Yes.
could you do me a favor? If you have a minute, not urgent, but if you have a minute, could you call me on my cell phone? I'll give you the number.
Yeah, sure. I might even have your number. Let me see if I have it in my phone.
Okay.
Don't hang up on me here. Let's see.
Oh,
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Shkoyach, good to be back. Okay, well,
Funny thing though, leisure clothes, they cost far more.
that Shabbos clothes.
Yeshakowach, Rabbi, Yeshakowach.
Thank you, Bella.
I mean, honestly,
Yeah.